Hello everyone, and this is Devrata here. So, in today's class, we'll cover the CSIR NET June 2024 question paper Physical Science conducted by the NTA, CSIR NET by NTA. So, first of all, that the strategy and the question paper that CSIR NET Physical Science, there are three parts. At the part A, part B, and the part C. In part A, there are 20 questions and you have to do 15 carrying plus 2, and the part B 25 questions, you have to do the 20 and the each of the question weightage 3.5. In part C, there are 30 questions and you have to do 20 into 5, each question 5 marks. So total 75 questions and you have to do 55 and the total weightage 200 marks, 3 hours. Okay, and the general strategies is that first of all, the general aptitude, the number of questions coming in the CSIR NET Physical Science 20. Next, the mathematical physics 8 to 9 questions, and the classical mechanics 7 to 8. From EMT, the number of questions are coming, that the 8. In the quantum mechanics 8 to 9, and next thermodynamics and statistical physics, there are 6 questions. Electronics, there are 5 to 6 questions. AMP, atomic and the molecular physics, there are 3 questions. CMP, condensed matter physics, there are 3 or 4 questions. Next, NPP, nuclear and the particle physics, there are 3 to 4 questions. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Total 10 topics. Okay. Total 10 topics. These are the strategies and the question. So first question number or the question ID 705001. This is a current question paper download by the CSIR NET website, English and Hindi both. This says that a large number of birds, half of which belong to species A and the other half to species B, rest on a tree where they are distributed randomly across the branches. In a random sample of 5 birds from the tree, what is the probability that at least one is from species A? Questions coming from the probability, and this is the general aptitude GA. Okay, total 20 questions and you have to do 15. So first try yourself and give me the feedback of the answer by commenting, and after just look upon my solution in the blackboard. Okay, try yourself first. Comment me by putting your answer option. I am waiting for you. I just show you one thing, the strategies. So here remember the one thing, that half of the bars belong to species A and the other half of belongs to species B. So PA, here the probability of A is what? Half, and the P of B should be half. Okay. If 5 bars are chosen at random, the probability that at least one is from the species A, that is, the probability at least one from the species A, that is 1 minus P. Okay, this is from A, and here P means the none of the bars is from species A. So probability of species A should be what? Half. And the probability that all the 5 bars are not species A, that would be what? P not in A, that cross A, that is half, total 5, to half to the power 5, that is 1 by 32. So therefore the question is that the probability that at least one bar is from species A, that would be what? Pa equal to 1 minus P, that is not in A, so 1 minus 1 by 32, that would be what? 31 by 32. So 31 by 32 means what? 0.96875. So which option is correct? Give me. 0.96 means this one, option number 4. Option D would be the correct. Option 4, 0.96875. Okay, next. Go ahead. Suppose that the increase in a population can be modeled as dn dt equal to Rn k minus n by k, where n is the size of the population, k is the carrying capacity, and R be the per capacitor, growth rate, and time t. Which one of the following statements are true? Okay, try yourself first. The question is two language, English and Hindi. So whether you should comfortable with English or Hindi, you should look upon and try yourself the solution of the question. Question ID 75002. So here is given that dn dt equal to what? This is given the gamma times n k minus n by k. This is gamma, not r. Okay, so n nearly equals to 0. So dn dt or the dn dt equal to gamma times n of 1, because the n by k, that is tends to 0. That means the dn dt is equal to integration of gamma dt. That would be what? Differentiate both sides. Differentiate both sides. So not differentiate, integrate both sides. Okay, because you have to integrate. So dn dt means what? If you integrate dx by x, 1 by x dx, that ln n, or it would be the ln n equal to gamma t. Okay, or ln by gamma, that would be the ln by gamma, that would be what? Exponential gamma t. Exponential gamma t means e to the power gamma t. So option A would be the correct. N tends to 0, the change in population is nearly the exponential, because ln by gamma is what? D to the power gamma t. Okay. So option 1 would be the correct, the exponential. Next one. Just a minute, I just push on my blackboard for the camera. Just 1 or 2 minutes. Next question. Question ID is 7.705003. The rectangular tray of 30 semi cross 60 semi size is used for baking circular biscuits. The diameter of each biscuit is 3 semi before baking, which increases by 10% of baking. What is the maximum number of biscuits that can be baked in the tray such that the base of each biscuit is in contact with the tray? Okay, try yourself. Try yourself first. So here, that see the solution. Size of the tray is what? 30 semi into 60 semi. So net diameter would be what? 10% increase. So 3 plus 10% of 3 semi means 0.3. That would be the 3.3 semi. This is the new diameter. Okay, dn. Next, number of biscuit along the vertical direction. That would be what? Because to determine the maximum number of biscuit along the vertical direction, this is the vertical direction. So here the number of the biscuits would be what? That would be the 30 by 3.3. Okay, this approximately 9. And in the vertical direction, there should be the, because 30 semi into 60 semi, this is suppose 30 and the 60. So not this one. Just a minute. This should be this one. This is 30 and the 60. So here the number of biscuit in the 60 divided by the 3.3, that approximately what? 18. So the total number of biscuits should be what? The multiplication of these two, 9 into 18. So 162. 9 into 18. Okay, 162 biscuits. Answer 2. Answer 2 would be the correct 162. 162. Next question. Question number 4. In how many distinct ways can 128 identical marble be arranged in a complete rectangular grid? Disregarding the obtained of the grid. Simple question. Try yourself first. Same question, just another type. So the number of distinct ways in which the 128 identical marble can be arranged that the what? Rectangular grid. Determine the finding of the factor pair. Okay. Finding the factor pair of the 28. You should find first. Finding the factor pair of 128 means 1 into 128. These are the factor pairs. 2 into 64. Factor pairs 4 into 32 and the last one 8 into 16. Factor pair means this one 182, this one. Thus simple, there are 4 distinct ways to arrange the number of marble in the rectangular grid. Answer would be the 4. Simple question. Answer would be the 4 option 4. Next question. How many 3-digit number exist whose first and last digit add up to 9? Quickly solve. This is for the permutation and the combination, class 11 simple mathematics concept. Simply solved. Okay. So the data shows a grouping of number into interval with a corresponding the frequencies. So the total count is what? Because you have to given a data, the first and last digit up to 9. I just draw a table. You just look upon this board. This is the range, and here the frequency, because frequency means here frequency means the number of numbers. Okay, here 109 to 199, the 10, 207 to 297, that would be the 10, 306 to 396, that would be 10, 405 to 495, that would be the 10, 504, 594, that would be the 10, 603 to 693, that would be 10. 702 to 792, that would be the same. 801 to 891, that would be the same. And the 900 to 990, that would be the 10. So total number would be what? The 90. The 90 would be the correct option. Option A would be the correct. 90. This is the way of solving the general aptitude. Next question. Among A, B, C, D, E, F, D, D is taller than B but shorter than F. E is taller than B but shorter than C. B is not shortest of all. Then A is, whose option is the correct? Very interesting question. And I think you should solve yourself. Question ID 705006. Solution that among A, B, C, D, E, F, here is given data D greater than B, F greater than D, E greater than B, and C greater than E. From the given condition, we can remark the F is greater than D greater than C, greater than E, greater than B, greater than A. So option A is the shortest of all. Simple. Conclusion is that A is the shortest of all. Means A would be the correct. Then A is the shortest of all. Next, the graph question. Area and population of 4 states S1, S2, S3, S4 are given. Their arrangement in decreasing order of population density would be what? So here, see one thing, that the S1 should be 110 by 300. That would be what? 0.367. Now the S2, 25, he is given 25 by 110. That would be what? 0.227. Next, the S3, that the 70 divided by 110. Okay, that would be what? 0.63. Last, the S4, that would be the 90 by the total number 90 would be the 1. So the decreasing order means the S4 is greater than S3, is greater than S1, is greater than S2. This is the correct option. So here I think option A would be the correct. S4, S3, S1, S2. Next, among 100 squirrel babies, 200 have 3 strips on their back, 500 have 2 strips on their back, and the rest have the 4 strips on their back. While 90% of the 3 strip babies survived to adulthood, only 80% of the 2 stripped and the 70% of the 4 stripped babies survived to adulthood. The fraction of the 4 stripped squirrels among the adults is nearest to what? Question number 8, try yourself first. So here number of 3-stepped squirrel babies that survive to adulthood, that the 90 by total 100 okay, into 200, because 200 have this one, so 180. Next, number of 2-stepped, this is the 3, and for 2-stepped STRIPPED, okay, this would be the 80 by total 100 into 500, so that would be the 400. Next, the 4-stepped, that would be what, 70 divided by 100 into 300, that would be what, 210. See, total number would be what, the sum would be 790. So fraction of the total adult stepped squirrel of the total adult squirrel, that would be what, the 210 divided by the total number of 790, that would be approximately 0.266. So our option would be the correct, 0.266, means option 3, 0.266 would be the correct. Next, go ahead. In a class of 70 students, 20% of girls have spectacles and 40% of the boys have the spectacles. If the total number of students having spectacles is 23, the number of boys in the class is what? So let the number of boys is x. Number of boys is x, simple. Number of girls 70 minus x. This is the boys and the girls. So according to the question, the 30% means the 30 by 100 of the girls plus the 40%, 40 by 100 of the boys, the total of 23. Solve one, you would be get the x 20. So number of boys 20. X would be the 20. Okay. So here option 45, 14, 18, 25. So here the 25, this would be the 20. Okay. Option 4 would be the correct. The number of boys in the class, that the 20. Okay. This is the correct. Simple mistake of the option. Next question. A referendum of a person involved 700 participants. Among the participants of 3600 were women and the rest were the men. And the 2900 participant of whom the 1300 were women and they voted against, while the 3000 participant voted in the favor. So 400 women absence. So the ratio of the number of men that didn't vote in the total number of the participant, what would be the correct ratio? Simple question from the class 7 or 8 standard mathematics. So here that the question number 10 and the question ID is 705010. Try yourself, simple question. Just follow the condition of the question. Here one thing is that the total participant 700 and the woman 7,000 and the woman 3,600. So one thing, you have to find the ratio. The total main participant would be what? Total main. Total main means 7,000 minus 3,600. That would be the 3400. This is the total main. Out of this, 1,300 are women voted. So main voted, that the main voted, that what? 2900 minus 1300. So that would be the 1600. So women who absent for the voting, that would be the 3600 minus the rest one, that the 1300 plus 400. So that would be the 1900. So main participant who voted in favor means 3400 minus this one, the 1900, in favor 1500. I just write in favor. So next, the total people who absent from voting. Absent for voting, means 1100, means that the 700 men and the 400, this is the women. So ratio, this would be what? The number of men who didn't vote 700 and the total number of the participant, that the 7,000. So 1 by 10, simple. 1 by 10 would be the answer. 1 by 10 means the option 3 would be the correct. Next, the population of a town is increasing at a uniform rate. If its population was 4 times 0, and this one for the 2022 and 2023 respectively, so what would be its population in 2024? Try yourself. So basically you have to find the rate of increase. So the rate of the increase, that was what? So total 96,000 minus 90,000 divide by the total, that would be what? The 0.067. Using this rate, we calculate the population in 2024, that in 2024 96,000 into 1 plus 0.067, this is the increasing. So this would be the 102,400. 102,400. Option 2 would be the correct. Next, short question in general aptitude. Next question. The question number 12. The square in the following grid are filled with the number such that the number in the squares form the top and the bottom rows at 20 and the 14 respectively, and those forming the column 23. So what is the value of the A? Okay, this is basically homework for your practice. Homework for your practice. I give you the answer. 3 would be the correct here. Option 3 would be the correct. You just do yourself in your homework and comment by messaging. commenting the answer by the message or the mail ID catschrodingers1935@gmail.com. The next question: if 32xy6 is divisible by 9, x and y being even decimal digit, then what is the value of the x? Question 13. Try yourself first. So here is given that for a number to divisible by 9 and the sum of its digit must be divisible by 9, so possible value of xy should be what? The possible value of the xy, that would be the 2, 4, 6, 8. So condition of divisibility, that the 3 plus 2 plus x plus y plus 6 must be divisible by 9. So my choice, suppose the x 8 and the y should be 8. Then the 3 plus 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 6, this would be the 27, divisible by 9. So option would be the 8, means you just choose any option 2, 4, 6, 8 and the answer would be the 1. That the answer option 4. 8 would be the correct, because if you choose the 2, 4 and the 6, they are not divisible by 9. Here the correct option would be the 4. Answer 8. Next, go ahead. Canal A and B join to form a canal C, all having semicircular and cross section of the radii, which are the ratio of 3:4:5 respectively. Assume smooth merger of A and B and ignore the possibility of the flooding. If the speed S of the water is the same, is uniform in the both A and B, then the speed of water of the C, this would be the what? Very interesting question. Given that 3:4:5, because radius 3x, 4x and the 5x. So according to the question, that I just write here, the half pi r square 3x whole square into s plus half pi 4x square s plus half pi 5x square s plus half, not half, this would be the cos equal to, by the question, that would be what? That the half pi 5x square into v. So after solution you would get the 50s would be 25v. You have to find the v, that would be the 50 by 25, 2s. 2s would be the correct option, correct answers. 2s, twice s, that option 3 would be the correct. Next, two graphs shows the change in price of two commodities C1, C2 over 8 weeks. Which statement is the correct? I just solved one graph question. This is for your homework number 2. solve yourself and feedback me the answer by commenting. Next one. This is another graph question. The graph shows the observation and a regression line of the number of the progeny on the tail length of male bird. Which one of the following can be inferred from the graph? So it is clearly seen that the male with the longer tails tends to further more progeny, because here the graph is exponential increase with the linear. This is basically the y equal to mx, and you just put this value and solve this one. Y equal to mx minus c. Here c is 2.81 because basically increase. So by the observation that the answer C would be the correct. Male with longer tails tends to further more progeny. Next one. On a one-way road, broken line consisting of 2.5 length segments separated by 2.5 meter gaps are painted along the length of the road to demarcate three length, and the continuous line are painted along the both of the border. What is the total length of the painted line in meter over a 25 meter staged road? Simple question. This is 25 meter and this is to maintain. Okay, this is also 25 meter. 25 not 250 meter. So total would be what? 250 plus 250 plus 250 meter. This is the broken line. Broken line should be what? 750. 750 meter. Okay. Answer 3 would be the correct. 750. Next. A patient required administration of 50 ml of the intravenous fluid of 1 hour. So what is the approximate drip rate, number of drop per minute at which the fluid should be administered if the volume of the drop is 0.05 ml? Question number 18. So first you should calculate the number of drops to be administered. So total dose 500 divided by volume of a single drop, that means the 0.05. It would be 10 to the power 4. So now calculate the drip rate. Drip rate means the number of drop 10 to the power 4 by time in minute, that's 60 minutes. per minute, this is given, so that would be the 167. 167 means option 3 would be the correct. Next, a recorded player stylus moves along a spiral groove cut on an annular portion of a dish with inner radius 4 semi and the outer radius 10 semi. If the record turns 100 times when playing, the stylus travel approximately what? This is homework 3 for you for better practice, concept and understanding. Next, the last question from the general aptitude. An egg tray have 30 cavities to hold egg in 5 rows and 6 columns. Each cavity is surrounded by 4 raised corners shared by adjacent cavity. How many raised corners does the egg tray have? So there are 7 vertical line, means 6 column plus 1 extra line and the 8. So total number of intersection, that the 7 vertical line into 6 horizontal line, this is simple. The total intersection that what? 7 vertical line into, this is vertical and this is horizontal. Sorry, vertical means this one, this is vertical and this is horizontal, that the 42. So the total number of intersection equal to total number of shared corner in the grid. 42 would be the correct answer. So here the option, the correct option would be option 4, 42. Next, for your subject physics, question number 21. This is carrying part B, 3.5 marks of each. The evolution of the dynamical variable xt and pt is given by x dot equal to x and the p dot is equal to minus p, where the trajectory in xp space for minus 1 less than a less than 0 is best described by which? Very important question. Try yourself and give me the answer. And one thing is that this question is coming from the classical mechanics. I just write classical mechanics and the topic phase curve. Okay, phase curve, classical mechanics. So here the x dot is given x dot equal to alpha x. So dx dt, that would be alpha x, and the p dot minus p, that the dp dt, that means the dp dt equal to minus p. From the above equation, dx dp phase curve, so dx dt equal to minus alpha x by p, that imply dx by x means 1 by x dx equal to minus alpha by p dp by p. So integrate both sides, ln x would be ln p to the power minus alpha, or you have to find x in terms of p, x equal to p to the power minus alpha, x equal to p to the x in terms of p. This is called the phase curve. So here x equal to p to the power minus alpha in the range minus 1 less than alpha less than 0. X equal to y to the power minus x. The graph would be what? We already discussed in the graph theory that the graph of a to the power x is what? Graph of e to the power x is what? Graph of e to the power x is this one. Exponentially increase. Exponentially increase. Graph of a to the power x means this one. So here the option would be option 1, because this one converging. This is ln x and this is the a to the power x. Three graph here. E to the power x, this one the ln x, this is the e to the power x. This graph, and the negative region, this would be this one. Okay, 0, x and the y, and y equal to e to the power x. Plus minus, because for plus this would be this one, for minus that would be this one. This is for plus a to the power x, this is minus a to the power x. So here option would be the 1. Next, a uniform plane square sheet of mass m is centered at the origin of the inertial frame. The sheet is rotating about an axis passing through the origin at an instant when all its vertex line in x and y axis. The angular momentum is I naught omega naught 2i plus j plus 2k, where the I naught is the moment of inertia or the x axis. At this instant, the angular velocity of the sheet would be what? So here one thing, moment of inertia calculation. So this is for this one, and this one. Okay. So now Ixx that equal to I oi. This is from the classical mechanics, moment of inertia and T tensor. Ma square by 12, and the Izz ma square by 6. So I means what in tensor form? I means the Ixx 0 0 0, Iy 0 0 0, Izz. Okay. So this would be the m a square by 12 0 0 0, and the m a square by 12 0 0 0. Put this value m a square by 6. So now this is I0 0 0 0, I0 0 0 0 to I0. Now compare, assume the omega, that the omega x I plus the omega I j plus the omega z k, and the L means I naught omega naught. This is given 2i plus j plus 2k. So compare that the I naught omega naught 2 1 2, this would be the I naught, and in the matrix form that the 1 0 0 0 1 0, this one 0 0 2, and here the omega x, omega y, omega z. Now omega x would be what? 2 omega naught, omega y, omega naught, and the omega z, very important question, omega naught. So here the omega would be what? 2 omega naught I plus omega naught j plus omega naught k. Means the option 2 is the correct. Means the 2 I plus j plus k into omega naught. This would be the L dashed. This would be the omega dashed. Okay. Option 2 would be the correct. This is the full solution. Next, a body of mass m is acted upon by the central force given by the equation Fr equal to minus kr, where k is the positive constant. If the magnitude of the angular momentum L, then the total energy for a circular orbit is what? So in this question you have to apply the effective potential energy. So here the effective potential energy, that the L square by 2m r square, okay, plus the kinetic energy half k r square in circular orbit. Okay, so in circular orbit, this is another important question coming from the classical mechanics central force problem, del F del r, that the minus L square by 2f minus L square by mr cube differentiate plus kr. So there should be the 0. So r naught would be what? The L square by mk to the power 1 by 4. And the total energy, kinetic energy plus potential energy, means the L square by 2m r naught square plus half k r naught square. Put this value and you have to get the value of the total energy. Put this value of r naught, that the L square by 2m r naught square means the L square by mk to the power 4 whole square, okay, plus half k r square means half k r square, r means L square by mk to the power 1 by 4 to the power square. So this would be L root k by m. After solution, this would be the total energy. Then the total energy in the circular orbit, and this is the important question, it is given somehow the elliptical or the circular, and another the hyperbolic path, and another is the rectangular parabolic. Very important question. L root k by m. L root k by m, okay. L root k by means what? KL square root means the L root k by m. Option 4 would be the correct. Root over KL square means L root k by m. Option 4 be the correct. Next. A square plate of dimension a cross a makes an angle theta pi by 4 with the x-axis in its rest frame. It is moving with a speed v equal to root 3 by 3 c along the x-axis with the respect to the observer s dash. The value of the interior angle phi incident in the figure as measured s dash would be what? Try yourself first. This is from the special theory of relativity. So here this is theta s, this is interior angle phi s, and here is also theta s. The solution that the Lx, that would be the a cos theta root over 1 minus v square by c square by the formula we just discussed in chapter summary in a nutshell from the special relativity classical mechanics. So it would be the a 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 3, and the Ly component a sin theta, that the 1 by root 2. So tan of theta is Ly by Ls, that the root 3, that imply the theta is pi by 6. From the geometry, the total interior angle, that's the theta total, that 2 theta s plus phi s, okay, that equal to pi, this is the pi total 180 degree, and you have to find the theta phi s interior angle. This is equal to pi, or the phi s, that the pi minus pi by 6, this is the pi minus 6, not pi minus 6, this is basically 6 twice pi by 3. So basically that, because this is the one angle, pi minus twice pi by 3 would be what? Pi by 3. Pi by 3 would be the correct answer. Pi by 3 means the option A, 1 would be the correct. Pi by 3. Next, go ahead. The Hamiltonian for a one-dimensional simple harmonic oscillator is given by this one. The harmonic oscillator is in the single state, this one. 1 and 2 are the normalized first and the second excited state of the oscillator, and lambda v are the positive real constant. If the expectation value psi x psi is beta root over h cross by m omega, and you have to find the value of the beta. Another important question, this is from the quantum mechanics harmonic oscillator. So Hamiltonian, here the Hamiltonian is equal to p square by 2s m plus half m omega square x square, and the state is given by psi, that the 1 by root over 1 plus lambda square k1 plus lambda e to the power I theta k2. The operator x cap, the position operator in the form of the annihilation and the basically the creation and the annihilation operator. So h cross by 2m omega a plus a dagger. So now apply x acting on psi. So x acting on psi, that would be the what? Put this value h cross by 2m omega 1 by root over 1 plus lambda square, that the a acting on 1 plus lambda e to the power I theta 2 plus a dagger acting on the 1 plus lambda e to the power I theta 2. Put this value only. So the final result would be that root over h cross by twice m omega 1 by root over 1 plus lambda square, and the root 1 ket 0 plus root 2 lambda e to the power I theta ket 1 plus root 2 1 plus lambda e to the power I theta root 3 ket 3. So now you take the expectation value, that therefore this psi x psi, that would be the what? Put this all value. So this would be the h cross by 2 m omega, that the 1 by basically the square. So root would be the vanish lambda e to the power I theta root 2 lambda e to the power minus I theta, the conjugate, plus root 2 lambda e to the power I theta and the e to the power minus I. Okay. So compare this value with this result, that implies the beta value would be 2 lambda cos theta by 1 plus lambda square, because basically beta is given beta h cross twice m omega. This is the psi x psi. So compare this would be the twice lambda cos theta by 1 plus lambda square. Option C would be the correct. Next, go ahead. If A and B are Hermitian operator and C is the annihilation operator, then what should be the correct? So the commutation, this is for the commutator, quantum mechanics. Okay. Just a minute. The commutation of A, B with C whole dagger. So it would be what? It would be equal to C dagger A, B commutation. So this is equal to the C dagger A dagger B dagger. Okay. This would be the what? The minus C dagger minus C commutation of B and A. So this is the minus A, B and the C. Next, commutation of AC with the B dagger. So that would be the B dagger. Just simplify, split out the commutation bracket. Okay, C dagger, A dagger, that would be the B minus CA, that would be the minus AC and the B. So option 2 would be the correct, because the ABC and ACB are both annihilation, because the A dagger, that the minus A annihilation, because the in decreasing creation and the discretion. Go at the next question. If L is the total angular momentum operator and the sigma is the Polish matrix, which one of the following operator which is equal to sigma dot L? Very important question. That commutation of the S dot L Lx IH cross L cross S X component, and the commutation of S dot L with Lx with L, this is the IH cross L cross S. So the S dot L commutation of S, it would be what? The IH cross S dot L with the J, total angular momentum. So basically S dot L with S, that would be the IH cross S cross L. This is basically the IH cross S cross L. So the commutation of S dot L with J, that be the 0. So now the sigma dot L, that would be the twice by H cross S dot L. So now L plus H cross by 2 sigma, that the L plus S, or the H dot L with the Lx, that would be the minus H cross, sorry, IH cross Y component Ly S X minus Sy Lz. So here the option would be the answer 2, this one, L plus S, L plus H cross by 2 sigma, sigma dot L, L plus H cross by 2 sigma. Next, a quantum mechanical system is in the angular momentum state L4 Lz4. The uncertainty in Lx is what? This question is coming from the angular momentum quantum mechanics. So Lx in term of ladder operator L positive and L negative is given by the Lx is what? L positive plus L negative by 2. So Lx expectation 0 on what state? 4 4 Lz, and the Lx square, this would be the what? Just square this, L positive square L negative square plus twice L square minus Lz square. Put this value 0 plus twice L into L plus 1 minus m square h cross square divided by 4. So now the Lx square expectation, twice put this value 4.5 minus 16 h cross square divided by 4, so that would be the twice h cross square. So uncertainty of Lx means the del Lx, that the square root of Lx square expectation minus Lx expectation square. This is the formula of the uncertainty. So that would be the root over of this root 2 h cross. Root 2 h cross, option A would be the correct. Next, a hydrogen atom is in the state this, where the psi NLM is normalized eigenstate. If L square is measured in its state, the probability of obtaining the value of 2h squares is what? Very important question. Frequently this is asked in CSIR NET. This is from the hydrogen atom. Quantum mechanics, hydrogen atom. Okay. The psi is given this. So now you have to find the mod psi square. This is the probability that the root over 8 by 21 400 state square plus root 3 by 7 410 state plus 4 by 21 get 411 state. So probability of getting the 2a square, that the total 8 by 21 plus 3 by 7 plus 4 by 21. So in the numerator 3 by 7, 4 by 21. So this would be 13 by 21. Option A would be the correct, 13 by 21. Simple question. Next, probability density function of a variable x is given by px equal to half delta x minus a plus delta x plus a. The variance of x is what? This is coming from the probability, mathematical physics. So the variance means the del x square. This is the variance, that the x square expectation minus x expectation square. Basically the fluctuation. Okay. So calculating the expectation of x. Basically the average. Here the expectation means the average. So integrate minus infinity to infinity x px dx. Substitute x, px, substitute the value of px. So integration minus infinity to infinity x half delta x minus a plus delta of x plus a. Evaluate the delta function. Evaluate the delta function means it would be the expectation of x or half minus a. Evaluate the delta function minus a plus positive a. That would be the 0. Now the x square expectation. Simple, minus infinity, same as it is, x square px dx. Put this value. So half a square plus half of a square, or x square expectation, that the square. So the variance, that the del x square, that the x square expectation minus x expectation square, that would be a square. Simple. A square would be the final option. Option A would be the correct. Next, go ahead. Velocity of a vector field B is obtained at V equal to curl B, given B equal to kx yz r cap, where k is a constant. Which one of the following is correct? This is from the magnetostat, electromagnetic theory, magnetostatics. Simple question. Curl B, that in the polar form, r cap, theta cap, phi cap. Put this value, del del r, del del theta, del del phi. Here k x y z 0 0, that the r cap 0 minus 0 minus theta cap 0 minus 0 plus phi cap 0 minus 0. That's what? A1 theta plus A2 phi. Velocity is perpendicular to the field vector. Option B, option 4 is the correct. Velocity is perpendicular to the field vector anywhere. Next, the matrix A is given by A is 1 2 minus 3 0 3 2 0 0 minus 2. The eigenvalue, this is in the form A 3a cube plus 5a square minus 6a plus 2i, where I with the identity matrix are what? Simple, just you have to find the eigenvalues. So the characteristics equation, that the determinant of a minus lambda I by the definition, that is equal to 1 minus lambda 2 minus 3 0 3 minus lambda 0 0 0 minus 2 minus lambda, that is equal to 0. Solve this, you get the eigenvalue lambda 1 3 minus 2. Hence given value, that this is given the 3a cube plus 5a square minus 6a plus 2i. This is given. So put this value one after another, lambda 1 3 minus 2, you would get the 4 1 1 0 1 0. This would be the option 4. Option 4 would be the correct. 4 1 1 0 and the 10. Next, an integral is given, this one, where a is the real parameter, the full range of value of a for which the integral is finite is what? This is coming from the Jacobian transformation, mathematical physics, very important concepts, that the given part x square plus y square plus twice x ay, this is positive quantity, is greater than 0, transform x equal to u plus v, Jacobian transformation, and the y equal to u minus v. Put this value, that the x square y square 2x ay is equal to u minus v square plus u plus v square plus twice a u plus v u minus v greater than 0. So simplify, this would be the 2 plus twice a u square plus greater than 0. So twice plus twice a greater than 0, and the twice minus twice a is also greater than 0. From these two would be minus 1 less than 1 less than 1. Minus 1 less than 1 less than 1. Option minus 1 less than a less than 1. Option C would be the correct. Next, go ahead. The region y greater than 0 has a constant electrostatic potential V1 and y less than 0 has a constant electrostatic potential V2 not equal to V1. A charge potential with momentum P1 is incident at an angle theta. Which option should be the correct? This question is coming from the boundary value problem. Okay, electromagnetic theory, boundary value problem. So the diagram is represented as in the form, this one the V1 and that the V2. This is the theta 1 and the theta 2. This is the x and the y. So in the x direction, conservation of momentum in the x direction, that the P1 sin theta 1 minus P2 sin theta 2. So rearranging to solve for sin theta 2, that the sin theta 2 would be P1 sin theta 1 divided by the P2. Taking the inverse to solve the theta 2, that the theta 2 minus arc of sin P1 sin theta 1, put this value, divide by P2, okay, and this would be the answer. So taking the inverse, option 4, sin inverse P1 by P2 sin theta 1. This is the theta 2. This is arc of, means the sin inverse, okay, P1 by P2 sin theta 1. Option 4 would be the correct. Next, go ahead. Boundary value problem, this is coming. The electric field of a electromagnetic wave in free space is given by this one. You have to find the pointing vector. This is coming from electromagnetic wave topic, electromagnetic theory. First you should to find the B. Next, the pointing vector. That the curl E minus del B del T. Del B del T. Taking del and del T, that del transform to kz and the del T to minus omega. So you just get the B equal to kz cross E divided by omega. B to E transform. Magnetic field to electric field. So B would be the what? So B would be, substitute this equation, you would get the B would be the minus of kz E naught by omega sine omega t minus kz I. the Poynting theorem that the S 1 by mu naught E cross B. This is the final result. Put this value one after another, that the 1 by mu kz E naught square divided by omega sine square omega t minus kz z k cap. That here option 4 is the correct. Next, and point electric dipole is placed in a vertical distance d above the ground infinite conducting xy plane as shown in the figure. The electrostatic potential varies would be what? This is coming from the dipole moment, electromagnetic theory dipole moment. So for the r greater d, the system effectively forms an quadrupole due to the dipole and its image. Okay, dipole and its image, so quadrupole. And for quadrupole, the potential varies with the r cube. 1 by r cube would be the correct option. Option 3, 1 by r cube. A finite seized light source is used to double slit experiment. The observed intensity pattern changes A to B. Which one statement is the correct? This is coming from the optics, electromagnetic theory. From the figure we see the pattern is completely lost. Okay, which shows that the interference fringes are no longer visible. So this is a result of the decrease of the coherence length of the light source. So option 3 would be the correct. Decrease in the coherence light of the light source. Next, quantum particle of unit mass, a potential is given at equilibrium temperature T. Let N2 and N3 denote the number of particles in the second and the third respectively. You have to find the ratio of the N2 by N3 is what? This is coming from the canonical ensemble, thermodynamics and statistical physics. That you know the relation En, that half harmonic oscillator energy level n plus half h cross omega, where the value of n 135, half harmonic oscillator for. So second energy level for n equal to 3, here the value n, that 135. For n equal to 3, the E2 means the second energy level, that 5 plus half h cross omega, 11/2 h cross omega. Third energy level n equal to 5, 7 plus half, 15/2 h cross omega. Population ratio, basically N2 by N3 means the population ratio from the Boltzmann distribution equation, that the e to the power minus E2 by kt divided by the z partition function e to the power minus E3 by kt divided by the z. Substitute the value, or that the N2 divided by N3, this would be the e to the power minus 11/2 h cross omega by kt. Put this value, e to the power minus 15/2 h cross omega by kt. So, or you would get the n2 by n3 value would be the exponential minus 2h cross omega divided by kt. Means the option A would be the correct. Exponential 2h cross omega by t. This is basically the exponential 2h cross omega by kt. Option A would be the correct. Option 1. Next, a single particle can exist in two states with the energy 0 E. At high temperature, the specific heat of the system approximately what? I don't solve everyone. For your better practice, it is the homework number 3 and I give you the answer. Answer would be the 2 proportional to 1 by t square, and give some hints that first you should calculate the average energy, next the CV specific heat, del E del T. Okay, you do yourself and feedback me by comment. This is for you homework. Next question. The following PV diagram shows a process where an ideal gas is taken quasi-statically from A to B along the path as shown in the figure. The work done is be the what? This question is coming from the thermodynamics and the statistical physics topic, first law of thermodynamics. That very important question. You have to find the work done. So region 1. I draw the path from this one. Okay. This is path 1, path 2 and the path 3. So first path work done W1, that the half V1 plus VA minus V1 by 2 minus V1 into P2 minus P1. Calculate. You would get half, simple calculation, P2 minus P1, that the VA minus V1 by 2. Next the path 2. So path 2 here, that would be the P2 minus P1 pressure, and the volume region, that the VA minus V1 plus VA by 2. This would be that P2 minus P1 VA minus V1 by 2. Next, for the path C, the work done would be the P1 minus 0 and VA minus V1, put this value. So total area, so the total work done, that the W1 plus W2 plus W3. Okay, calculate and you would get the value, that the 3P2 plus P1 by 4 into V2 minus V1. Option A would be the correct. 3P2 plus P1 into V2 minus V1 by 4. Okay, option A would be the correct. Next, go ahead. Two non-interacting classical particles having masses m1 and m2 are moving in a one-dimensional box of length L. For total energy not exceeding a given value E, the phase space volume is given by what? This is another homework number 4 for you. Try yourself and feedback me by commenting the right answer. Next, go ahead. A set of 100 data point yields average x bar 9 and the standard deviation sigma x is 4. The error in the estimate mean is closest to what? This is from the probability, mathematical physics. So error in mean means the standard deviation by root over of n. I'll just write the error in mean means standard deviation means the sigma divided by root over of n. Put this value. This is 4 and root over of n 100 data point. So 4 by 10, 0.4 would be the correct answer. Option 2 would be the correct. Next. A battery with an open circuit voltage is 10 volt is connected to a loaded resistor and the voltage measured across the battery terminal using the ideal voltmeter. The internal resistance of the battery is closest to what? This is coming from the network analysis, electronics. This is the circuit diagram. This is the internal resistance R. This is capital R. This is V. Simple question. Class 12 physics concept 9.6 by 485. This is 20 milliampere and the internal resistance here would be what? 0.3 divided by 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. This would be the 15 ohm. 15 ohm would be the answer. Option 2 would be the correct. Next, go ahead. The logic gate H and L at different location in a decimal circuit are found as shown in the figure. Based on this observation, which one of the logic gate is behaving like an NAND gate? Which is behaving like an NAND gate? This is from logic gate electronics. Simply you just do the truth table and matching the option G2, G3, G4, G1. I write you the correct answer. The 3, G4 would be the correct. Homework number 4. Do yourself for your better practice and give me the answer. A train of square wave pulse is given to the input of a ideal op-amp circuit given that the time period of the input phase T less RC and the op-amp doesn't get into the saturation, which one of the following best represent the output waveform? This is from the op-amp electronics. Very important question. Given circuit is combination of op-amp differentiator circuit with RC integrator circuit. Okay, this is op-amp plus differentiator D plus integrator I, 3 combination. For given input T less RC, first circuit will act as an ideal differentiator and the output will be differentiation and the square wave which is 0. The spike is differentiation output is because the sudden sense of the pulse 0 to 1. So the differentiation output has phase sense because the op-amp is property. This is the op-amp's property, phase change inverting. Okay. So the next RC circuit will be the ideal integrator. So hence the output would be what? the square wave given. So first the square wave changes to this one, differentiator means this one. Next it changes to this pulse indicator. This one. So here the option 4 would be the correct. This one. Next go ahead. A potential of mass m, it moving, a particle of mass m is moving in a potential minus k by r, where k is a positive constant and a and p denote the angular momentum and the linear momentum respectively. The value of alpha for which a equal to L cross p plus alpha mk r cap is a constant. So this is coming from the central force problem, classical mechanics, that A is given and the P dot would be what? That the FR r cap. FR r cap means r vector by mod of r. A is given, so find the P dot L cross. P dot L cross first. That the M FR by r, r cross r dot. So the r dot r would be what? Half ddt of r dot r. Okay, this is the 2 r dot. So now ddt of p cross l. ddt of p cross l, put this value, that would be the minus of fr r square r vector by r minus r dot divided by r square. Simplify, this would be the m fr r cube ddt of r by r vector by r. So A is given what? L cross P plus alpha mk r cap. So dA dt is what? dA dt would be 0. Put this value, or ddt of L cross P plus d of ddt of mk r, this is 0. Solve and you would get, differentiate and solve, minus 1 plus alpha is 0. So alpha equal to 1. So option 4 is correct, 1. Now go ahead. A linear molecule is modeled as two atoms of equal mass m placed at the coordinate x1 and x2 connected by the spring constant k. The molecule is moving in one dimension under the addition of the external potential Vx1 x2 half m omega naught square x1 square plus x2 square. In one frequency of molecules, vibration is omega naught, so another frequency is what? Important question. Coming from the small oscillation, classical mechanics, we will discuss the chapters in the classical mechanics chapter. So here the kinetic energy of the system, two spring system, that the m x1 dot square plus x2 dot square divided by 2. Potential energy is given, this one. So the kinetic energy in the matrix form, that the m0 0m, and the potential energy p not p, v and the potential energy V, that the what, K plus m omega naught square minus K by the formula kinetic energy and potential energy. And you have to find the normal frequency, means the characteristic equation, that the V minus omega square T determinant of this is 0. So solve this one, that the determinant value, this is not matrix, determinant of K plus m omega naught square minus omega square m, okay, minus K, here minus K, and here the K plus m omega naught square minus omega square m. This is equal to 0. So you would get by solving, or the omega equal to omega naught. This is the natural frequency. This would be the omega naught square plus 2k, twice k by m. That the option 3, omega root over of omega naught square plus twice k by m. For a simple harmonic oscillator, the Lagrangian is given by this one. You have to find the Poisson bracket of AH. Try yourself and give me the answer by feedback. This is coming from the Poisson bracket, classical mechanics. L is given what, half q dot square minus half q square. So simply further the Hamiltonian, that the q dot square by 2 plus q square by 2, using p equal to q dot, the Hamiltonian become what, A would be the p square by 2 plus q square by 2. So complex variable transformation defined, that A with coordinate pq, that the 1 by root 2 of p plus iq, complex transformation, and the compute AH, Poisson bracket, that AH is defined del A del q by the definition of the Poisson bracket, that the del H del P minus del A del P and the del H del Q. Okay. So substitute in the Poisson bracket, you would get the 1 by root 2 P minus 1 by root 2 Q. This would be what? That IP by root 2 minus Q by root 2. That 1 by root 2 IP minus Q, that amplify the Poisson bracket of AH would be I into A. I into A. I into A means what? I into A means option A is correct. Three identical simple pendulum are attached together by spring of constant K, as shown in the figure. The frequency of small oscillation are given by root G by L, root K by M plus G by L, root 3K by M plus G by L. The normal modes corresponding to this frequency are what? This is another question that is coming from the classical mechanics. Question number 53 out of 75. Another question from the spring mass system. Same question, same analogy. Classical mechanics, spring mass system, simple oscillation. And this is the homework 5. You solve it and feedback the answer. For your better concept, you do own by solving yourself. Using a normalized trial wave function, sigma x or the psi x, root alpha e to the power minus alpha mod x. For a particle of mass m, the potential Vx equal to minus lambda delta x. The estimated ground state energy is what? So here that minus lambda root over of this is the potential, and one thing is that this is basically the variational theorem. First try yourself and feedback me the answer. Question number 50, not 53. Question number 50. Variational principle, quantum mechanics. The given wave function is exact wave function for given potential. So that the exact eigenvalue will be optimized solution of the eigenvalue. Simple. One thing I repeat. The given wave function is exact wave function for given potential. So the exact eigenvalue will be optimized solution to the eigenvalue, that the minus m lambda square by what? Twice h cross square. Option 4 would be the correct. Next. Question number 51. The Hamiltonian of a particle of mass m is given by h equal to p square by twice m plus bx. The nth energy eigenvalue n obtained by the WKB approximation is what? This is given, and we have to find the function f of alpha beta. Very important question, I solve you. This is from the WKB approximation, quantum mechanics, that using the approximation, this is the diagram, that here this is potential V and here the x. This is the bounded region, that minus e by alpha and the e by beta. So here by the WKB approximation, that the integration minus alpha by e to beta by e, that p dx, this is equal to n plus half h cross omega, or n plus half nh cross, or the pi h cross. Okay, n plus half pi h cross, put this value, or integration minus alpha to e to 0 root over of twice m e plus alpha x dx plus 0 to beta by e root over of twice m e plus beta x dx. this is given n plus half pi h cross. So solve this integral by putting that 1 plus alpha by e x, this is t1, and the 1 minus beta by e x, this is t2. So you would get that the en 3 by 2, that is the alpha beta, divided by the alpha plus beta 3 by 2 h cos square by twice m to the power half into n plus half pi h cross. Compare with the given equation number 1. So therefore you would find the function, that the function of alpha beta, that would be the alpha beta by alpha plus beta. Alpha beta by alpha plus beta. Option 2 would be the correct. Next, a particle of energy E is scattered of one dimension potential lambda delta x, where lambda is the relay positive constant with a transition amplitude t plus minus. Sorry, t minus, this is the transmission amplitude. In a different experiment, the same particle is scattered of another one-dimensional potential minus lambda delta x with a transmission amplitude t minus. First one is t positive and next one is t negative. In the limit e tends to 0, the phase difference between t positive and t negative is what? Question number 52. Try yourself and give me the answer. So this is coming from the Dirac delta function, quantum mechanics Dirac delta function, or mathematical physics Dirac delta function. Not mathematical physics, quantum mechanics Dirac delta function. I hints you this question, that the potential is given Vx lambda delta x, and here the psi 1, that a1 exponential ikx plus b1 exponential minus ikx, and the psi 2, that the c1 exponential minus ikx. So apply Schrödinger equation. Now add x equal to 0, that the a1 plus b1 equal to c1, and the here the t plus is c1 by a1. Now write the Schrödinger equation, that the h cos square by 2m d square x dx square plus lambda delta x psi, that is equal to e psi. Equation of conservation of energy. Integrate both sides and put this limit. Okay, you would get the value of, integrate both sides. Now integrate both sides, you would get the value minus h cross square by twice m. I solve in my ik c1 minus a1 minus b1 plus lambda c1 equal to 0. Now put that b1 equal to a1 minus c1. So you would get, or the C1 minus 2A1 minus C1, this is equal to twice m lambda divided by h cross square ik into C1. Okay, divide both sides by a, so you would get the T positive, that would be the 1 by 1 minus lambda m divided by h square ik. I hints you, and the T negative would be what? 1 by 1 plus lambda m divided by h cross square ik, and the ratio would be at k tends to 0, the T positive with the T negative would be minus 1. So minus 1 means what? The phase change is pi, theta is pi, phase change del phi is pi. Option 2 would be the correct, pi. The difference between the T positive and T negative would be the pi. Next, the following four matrices represent a group. Which of the following represent the multiple table, the multiplication table for the same group? This is from the group theory, mathematical physics. Group theory, mathematical physics. That first the I 1001, so multiply by the A. One minute. First you multiply I into A, you would get I given, that I into A, that what? I into A means 1 0 0 1, and the A is given, that minus 1 0 minus 1 0 0 minus 1. It would be what? This would be the A. And similar IB multiplication would be the B. I into C multiplication would be the C. Now A into A means minus 1 0 0 minus 1 minus 1 0 0 minus 1. A into A matrix multiplication would be the I. Next, the B into B, it should be the I. So by the observation, the option 4 would be the correct, because this table represents the multiplication table of the same group. Same group means A into A equal to I. Next, go ahead. An integral transform fx of a function f dash x of a function fx can be regarded as the result of applying the operator f to the function such that f acting on fx is f dash x is equal to minus infinity to infinity dy exponential minus ixy fy. If I is the identity operator, then the value of the operator f4 is what? Question number 54. This is coming from the mathematical physics Fourier transform. Starting with the definition of the Fourier transform, that the f of the function fx, that is what? This is the f dash x. This is the minus infinity to infinity exponential minus ixy fy dy. Next, for f square, that the f square acting on the fx means the f of this means the capital F of f dash x. This is what? Integral minus infinity to infinity e to the power minus I x z f dash z dz, because the fz is minus infinity to infinity e to the power minus I x z into minus infinity to infinity e to the power minus I z y fy dy whole dz. So now changing the operator of integration, changing the operator of the integration, that would be the minus infinity to infinity fy minus infinity to infinity exponential minus I x plus z y dy dz. Now the integral value, the standard integral, that the minus infinity to infinity e to the power minus I x plus y z dy, this would be the twice pi delta x plus z. Substitute the result back, you would get the f square of fx, that the twice pi of f of minus x. Now the parity is defined that p of fx, this is the parity operator, that is the f of minus x. Thus the f square is twice pi p. Substitute f square for f to the power 4, that the twice pi whole square p square, simple. So finally you got the result that the twice pi whole square into I, this is the f4 operator. So operator f4 would be the twice pi whole square into I, means option 4 would be the correct. Option 4, twice pi whole square into I. Next, the general solution for the second order differential equation d square y dx square minus y equal to x sin x will be what? This is coming from the differential equation, mathematical physics, very important question. This is homework 6. You got yourself for a better practice and understanding with the concept. I hint you here that apply the operator capital D, that the ddx in the equation you would get the d minus 1 d square minus 1 into y equal to x sin x. The equation transform into this equation. This is a homogeneous equation. The complementary function would be what? c1 e to the power x plus c2 e to the power minus x. Now this is the cf. Now for the pi, you have to calculate the pi for the both real and imaginary part, and finally you would get the solution that the y equal to cf plus pi, that the c1 e to the power x plus c2 e to the power minus x, and the pi would be the half of x sin x plus cos x. You would calculate the pi in your home, and the answer would be the option 1, c1 e to the power x plus c2 e to the power minus x minus half x sin x plus cos x. Next, question number 56. Question number 56. The integral I equal to 0 to 1 2x by 1 plus x square dx is estimated using the Simpson 1/3 rule with a rigid value of age equal to grid value. Grid value means the strip length 0.5. The difference I estimated minus I exact is closest to what? This is a question coming from the numerical analysis Simpsons mathematical physics. So here that the I is given the integration 0 to 1 2x plus 1 plus x square dx. Using Simpson 1/3 rule, that formula would be h by 3 y0 plus 4 into y1 the odd one y3 plus dot dot plus twice into the even one y2 y4 dot 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 plus the last element means the yn. Put this value, there's h grid or the strip length 0.5, so y would become this function 2x by 1 plus x square. Put this value here, compute y0 would be compute 2 into 0 plus 1 plus 0 square, that would be this 0. y1 would be what? 4 by 5. y2, put this value, you would get 1. So now Simpson 1/3 rule, substitute this value. So 0.5 divided by 3 and the y0 plus 4y1 plus y2, that would be the substitute value would be 0.5 divided by 3 0 plus 4 into 4 by 5 plus 1. Okay, so the final result would be the 0.7. And one thing is, and the exact value, this is exact value would be what? 0.6931. Exact value means you just integrate this one I exact, that 0 to 1 2x plus 1 by x square dx, integrate by the rule, you would get this one. So the difference, therefore I exact minus I estimate, this is the estimated est and this is the exact ext and ext. So this difference would be the 0.007 minus this to this, you would get 0.007, means option A is correct. Option 1 0.007. Next question, question number 57. In a non-magnetic material with no free charges and no free circuits or currents, no free currents, the permittivity epsilon is a function of position. If A represents the electric field along mu naught epsilon naught are free space permittivity and the permittivity respectively, which one of the following expression is correct? This is coming from the electromagnetic wave by the electromagnetic theory chapter. Same question we just discussed on that the wave is 0 and the free current IF is 0 given from the Maxwell equation that the curl B, that the mu naught I phi plus ZD displacement current plus phi current, where the displacement current ZD, this is the epsilon del E del D. So substitute from the Faraday law that the curl E, this is the minus del B del T. Substitute this, taking curl both sides. So curl of E that the minus del T of curl of B. And use the identity operator that the curl of E, that is equal to del dot E minus del square E. So simplify with del dot D. You know that the del dot D, that the rho f, and the del dot D means the epsilon E, that is equal to 0. So now substitute this equation in the wave equation. So now you get that you expand this del, so you just get the del dot E would be minus epsilon E dot divergence of E, divergence of epsilon. So substitute in the wave equation. Substitute in the wave equation. Wave equation means that the del of divergence of E minus del square E, that is equal to minus epsilon naught minus mu naught epsilon del square E del T square. Put this all value. Put this all value, you would get, or the del square E minus mu naught epsilon del square E divided by del T square plus del of plus del of 1 by epsilon E dot divergence of epsilon, this is equal to 0. This is our final expression. So option 3 would be the correct. Match the option del square E minus mu naught del square E means the epsilon E del T square plus del 1 by epsilon E dot divergence of epsilon equal to 0. Next, question number 58. A radio station antenna on the Earth's surface radiates 50 kilowatt power isotopically. Assume the electromagnetic wave to the sinusoidal and the ground to the perfect observer, neglecting the transmission loss and effect of the Earth's curvature. The peak value of the magnetic field in Tesla detected at distance of 100 km is closest to what? This is coming from the electromagnetic wave by the electromagnetic theory topic, just apply the formula. The intensity I is power by area and H 4 pi r square. Put this value, that 50 kilowatt means 50 into 10 to the power 3 divided by the area 4 pi r square. R means 100 into 10 cube into whole square means 1 into 10 to the power 10. This is the r square value. So I would be what? I would become, solve this numerical value, the 3.98 into 10 to the power minus 7. This is in Weber per meter square. So the relation between the intensity and the electric field, that I equal to 1/2 epsilon naught C E naught square. So from here you would get the value of the E naught, that the twice I divided by epsilon naught C. Put this all value, you would get the value of the E naught. 2 into 3.98 into 10 to the power minus 7 divided by 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 1 into 3 into 10 to the power 8. You would get the value of approximately 0.0173 volt per meter. Means that the magnetic field, that the 5.7 into 10 to the power minus 1 Tesla. Option 2 would be the correct. Option 2, 5.7 means the 5.5 into 10 to the power minus 11. Next, particle of unit mass and unit charge is moving in a magnetic field which varies at this one over a region far away from the origin. If L be the instantaneous angular momentum of the particle, you have to find the dl dt. This is from the electromagnetic theory, charged particle in a magnetic field. So the dl dt means the torque. You have to find the dl dt means the tau. Tau means what? R cross V cross B. R cross V cross B. Basically the R cross F. F means the V cross B. Okay. F means the V cross B. And the tau means the R cross F. Put this value, because F is what? Q V cross B. So this would be what? The R cross V cross B means vector triple product. That would be the V R dot B minus B R dot V. So this would become that B naught by R V theta in the theta cap, V phi in the phi cap, and V is what? V is basically the R dot R cap plus R theta dot theta cap plus R sin theta phi dot phi cap. Put this value, you would get the value of the dl dt means the torque tau would be the B naught theta dot theta cap plus sine theta phi that, sine theta phi dot phi cap, that would become the B naught ddt of r cap. ddt of r cap means the B naught dr by r divided by dt. Okay. So here the option C would be the correct. B naught ddt of, this is equivalent to B naught ddt of r vector by r means the r cap. This is equal to B naught ddt of r cap means the r vector divided by r. Now next. A two-dimensional sheet with a uniform sheet conductivity sigma has a central metallic point contact and a circular metal contact. A constant current I is injected through the central contact and collected at the boundary. Then the voltage difference between the point at sheet R1 and R2 proportional to what? This is from the electrostatics, from the electromagnetic theory. So here the J, current density, that the I by A, and the A here the twice by R delta for the cylindrical surface. So J would be the I by twice by R delta. So E means the electric field here, the 1 by sigma, J by sigma, E equal to J by sigma. Put this value I by twice pi R delta sigma. So the potential difference, mean the potential difference V between the point A and B would be what? The V2 minus V1, the potential difference, that the integration R1 to R2 E dot dr, means that the I by twice pi ln R2 by R1. Okay. Option 2 would be the correct. That proportional to, potential is proportional to 1 by sigma ln R2 by R1. Next, go ahead. Question number 61. Rotational energy of a molecule in angular momentum state J is given by this one. The probability that the molecule will be in the ground state at the temperature T is what? From the atomic and molecular physics, put this simple formula, put this value J equal to 0, 1 and differentiate, you would get the ground state energy E0. This is for the homework number 6. Do yourself and feedback me. Next, question number 62. A random walker take a step of unit length towards right or left at any discrete time step, starting from x equal to 0 at time t equal to 0. It goes right x equal to 1 at t equal to 1. Hereafter, if it repeat the direction, then the previous step with the probability p would be what? At x equal to 1 at t equal to 3. This is coming from the random walk problem. New problem, random walk problem from the thermodynamics and the statistical physics. This is the diagram of the random walk problem. So here, this is x equal to 1, t equal to 1. Here x equal to 2, t equal to 2. Here the starting A, B, C. X equal to 0, t equal to 0. So if the event start A to B, t equal to 1, then B to C, at t equal to 2 with probability p. Now the C2b at t equal to 3 with probability would be 1 minus p. 1 minus p would be a correct answer. 1 minus p, because the c coordinate is x equal to 2, t equal to 2, and the b is x equal to 1, t equal to 1. Next, question number 63. 5 classical spins are placed at the vertex of a regular pentagon. The Hamiltonian of the system is given this one. The sum of is over all positive nearest neighbor. You have to find the degeneracy of the ground state. The degeneracy of the ground state. So here you solve yourself. I hint you this problem. This is from the Ising model. Thermodynamics and the statistical physics Ising model. Basically, it states that the Hamiltonian H, the J summation Si Sj, that the S1 S2 plus S2 S3 plus S3 plus S4 plus S5 S1. This is the regular pentagon. Okay, sigma 1, this is sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4, sigma 5. Now, what will be the degeneracy? I give you the answer that the total degeneracy would be the option 4, 10. You just distribute yourself in this pentagon, because pentagon means 2 to the power 5, 32 distribution. That this one. This is the serial number 1, 2, dot 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 35, 32. Here this is sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4, sigma 5, and the E. You would get the number of degeneracy summation of Zi, that would be the 10. You count this distribution. This is basically the class 12 combination or permutation. Next question. Question number 64. A piezoelectric pressure sensor utilize changes in the electrical resistance with change in pressure, that del R equal to R naught with negative log del P by P naught. A current 2 microampere is placed through the sensor and the result voltage drop is measured using the ADC, analog to digital converter, having range 0 to 1 volt. If a pressure change of 1 millibar to be measured, then the minimum number of bits are required of what? That the simple one concept, that the 3 millivolt is greater equal to 100 millivolt by 2 to the power n minus 1. This is the formula. Or 2 to the power n minus 1 is greater equal to 100 millivolt divided by 3 millivolt, or the 2 to the power n that the get are equal to 332.33. So n get are equal to the log 332.33, or the n get are equal to what? 8.37. Log of this means the 8.37 means the option amongst the given option, the minimum number of the bit needed for the ADC is what? N get are equal to 87 means get are or equal to here. So get are equal to means 8 should not be correct. So 8 increases, that the 10 would be the correct. Option 4 is the right. Next, question number 65. In the circuit shown in the figure, the resistance R and R dash change due to strain, while R increases, R dash decrease by the same amount del R due to the applied strain. The unstrained value of R and R dash are 100 ohm. If sample strain is applied to the resistor, all the output changes 0.3 volt. You have to find the del R closest to what? This is from the network analysis electronics. I hints you and you solve yourself. Basically here the circuit is solved or formed the simple this one. This is the resistance with the volt. This is the simple resistance, that the VA, simple circuit VB, here the B, that the R, R, R dashed and the R dashed. So you should calculate the VA would be what? 10 divided by R into R dashed into 10 into R. Calculate the VB, that the 10 divided by R plus R dashed, okay, into R dashed. So now you just calculate the del R. Del R by this equation, because the VAB is 0, VAB 0, so VA means what? That the 10 change in resistance R plus del R plus R dash minus del R into R plus del R. That would be what? 10 divided by R plus R dash into R plus del R. So 2 hours already left, that 5 minutes break, and in the time of break you just solve this value of VA, VB and VC and put in the equation VAB. So now you will get the, by the equation of VAB you just calculate the change of resistance, that the del R. 5-minute break, you just solve yourself and give me the answer with the comment box. Hello. One, give me the solution. Correct. The option should be the one. That means the 3 ohm del R. Correct answer. And the other ones, just put all the value in VA equation, because VAB short circuit, this is the potential difference is 0. So here put this value, that VA would be 5 volt and the VB would be also 5 volt. So in this equation, that this is VA equation, VA and the VB, and for the VB, that the VB would be, VB means the 10 divided by R plus del R plus R dash minus del R into R dash minus del R, that is equal the 10 by R plus R dash into R dash minus del R. Okay. So the final equation, the VAB, that imply VAB means VA minus VB, that the 0.3 volt, that is equal to 10 divided by R plus R dash into R plus del R minus 10 divided by R plus R dash into R dash minus del R. And from the equation you would find the del R equal to 3 ohm. 3 ohm, 1 would be the correct. Next, question number 66. An astronomer observes 500 objects and classifies them as either of the type A or type B. She finds 148 objects to be type B, assuming a binomial distribution. The best estimate of the fraction of type A object and its associated standard deviation respectively are what? This is the probability distribution, mathematical physics. So the fraction of type A object is the number of type A object, the number of type A, that the n of A, that is equal to what? 500 total minus 148, that the 352. So the binomial distribution is says that, and the fraction of A, means 352 divided by 500 minus 0. What? This is equal to 0.704. So the binomial distribution says that the sigma, that P into 1 minus P divided by N, put this value, that 0.704 into 0.296 divided by 500. Simplify, you would get the 0.02. This is the value of the sigma. Means the option 2 is correct, 0.70 and 0.02. Next, the Debye temperature of a two-dimensional insulator is 150 Kelvin. The ratio of the heat required to raise the temperature from 1 Kelvin to 2 Kelvin and from 2 Kelvin to 3 Kelvin is what? Question number 67. This is coming from the thermodynamics and statistical physics. Basically the thermodynamics question, but it is coming from the condensed matter physics because the Debye temperature. Specific heat from the condensed matter physics. So now we know that from the Debye model that the Cv that is equal to kT square by theta d cube. Okay, so the specific heat here that the Q is Cv dt. Integral this, that would be the K theta d cube integration T square dt. So evaluate the integral that the Q equal to K by theta d cube T cube by 3. Okay. So from T1 to T2 means 2 to 3 Kelvin. So Q1 to 2, that would be what? K by 3 theta d. This is the theta means the capital theta. This one, this is the capital theta and this is the small theta. 2 cube minus 1 cube, that would be the 7K divided by 3 theta d cube. Next for the T2 to T3, that the 3 to 3 Kelvin, that the Q2 to 3, that the K 3 theta d cube minus 3 cube minus 2 cube, that would be the what? 19K by 3 theta d cube, and you have to find the ratio. Ratio means the Q1 to 2, therefore divided by Q 2 to 3. The ratio would be what? 7 by 19. Option A would be the correct. 7:19. Next question. Question number 68. Consider a body center tetragonal lattice with the lattice constant A B equal to A0, C equal to A0 by 2, the number of the nearest neighbor, the nearest neighbor distance, the number of the next nearest neighbor, and the next nearest neighbor distance respectively are what? This is another condensed matter physics problem coming from the crystallography. This is the chapter crystallography. Means consider the cubic structure shown in the figure, that the A minus A0, B minus A0 and the C minus A0 by 2. This is given. So nearest neighbor, number of nearest neighbor is 2 and the number of nearest neighbor is given by next nearest neighbor, that the next nearest neighbor, that is equal to the root over of A0 by 2 square, okay, plus A0 by 4 whole square. This would be what? The 5 root 5 A0 by 4. So option here 3 be the correct. Option 3 be the correct because first nearest neighbor distance is 2. This is the first nearest neighbor 2. And the second nearest neighbor, this is the half A0. Third nearest neighbor distance, this is the 8 because the number of next nearest neighbor means the number of next nearest neighbor A0 by 2 and the next is root 5 by 2 A0. The option C would be the correct. Next, go ahead. The band dispersion of electron in a two-dimensional square lattice is given by this one. The effective mass tensor is this of electron of what? m star, m xx, xy, yz. Two dimensional means xx, xy, yx, yy. This is coming from the band theory, condensed matter physics. Very lengthy question. Question marks 5 question. I hints you, you solve yourself. The energy expression is this one, equation number 1, and the tensor is defined. So here the reduced mass, that would be what? Del square E del kx. Here the del square E del, here the kx square, and here be the xy, means the del kx del ky, and here the del square E del ky del kx. Next the y means the del square E del ky square. This is the reduced, this is the effective mass, not reduced mass. The effective mass tensor form in terms of the k. So now do the derivative. First expression, you do the just derivative, that the del square E del kx del square E del ky, and substitute. Simple substitute. And now you would do the next mixed derivative, means the del kx del ky. Okay, and this is equal to the del square E del ky del kx. Okay, and put this value, you would get the value of option number 3, that put this value, you would get the h cross square by 2 a square tx 0 0 minus h cross square by 2 a square ty. Do this derivative and put this value, you would get homework 7 for your practice. Next, the bound dislocation energy of a molecule is defined as the energy required to dissociate it. For H2 and H2 plus molecule, the bond dissociation energy are this one. If the equilibrium bond length of both H2 and H2 plus are identical, the value of the ionization potential of hydrogen molecule will be closest to what? Question number 70. This is coming from the atomic physics, hydrogen atom. So the reaction H2 to H2 plus plus electron minus. This process can be divided into two steps, means the H2 H plus H and H to H plus plus electron minus electron, and the H plus plus H, that is the H2 plus. Okay. So the total energy would be what? The daily bond dissociation energy, that the E1 plus E2 plus E3. Okay. And E1 is what? The energy required to dissociate H2. 2 hydrogen atom, means 1 hydrogen atom, what? 13.6 electron volt. So here it would be 4.478 electron volt. And E2, energy required to ionize the hydrogen atom, that would be the 13.6 electron volt. Next the E3, that the energy released when H plus and H combine to form the H2 plus, that the 2. minus 651, because this is basically the minus En, that the minus 13.6 by n square electron volt. So now, so daily put this value 4.478 plus 13.6 minus 2.651, you would get 15.427 electron volt. Option A1 would be the correct. Next, helium atom is excited to state with a configuration 2s2p with an energy this. After some time, the atom spontaneously ejects a single electron. The value of the orbital angular momentum quantum number L of the ejected electron in the final state of the system is ionized. So this would be the what? Question number 71. This is coming from the chapter that hydrogen atom, atomic physics, hydrogen atom. Very simple question, that the configuration is given that 2s2p means when an electron is ejected from an excited state, it is most likely to come from the p orbital rather than the s orbital. So the angular momentum of the ejected electron would be the 1. Option 1 would be the correct. Next, go ahead. An atom of mass m initially at rest resonatically absorbs a photon. It makes a transition from the ground state to excited state and also get a momentum kick. It is difference between the energy of the ground state and the excited state h cross del. The angular frequency of the absorbed photon is closest to what? Question number 72. This is from the atomic physics, atomic transition. So one thing is that very important chapter, that the mathematical physics, quantum mechanics, EMT and the classical mechanics, these are from the question number part B, and for the part C is defined by the CSIR NET physical science syllabus, that the condensed matter physics, atomic physics, nuclear physics and also the electronics and also the thermodynamics and statistical physics, but the atomic, condensed and the particle are the particle means the nuclear are the very important. So here the energy of the photon equal to energy difference between the two state plus the kinetic energy. The energy of the photon is h cross omega. This is given, the energy difference is given h cross del plus p square by 2m the kinetic energy. So conservation of momentum p equal to h cross by c. Put this value, that the h cross del plus p value h cross omega by c whole square divided by 2m. So we approximate, but the kinetic energy of the atom is very small, so the momentum p square tends to 0. So the h cross omega is nearly equals to the h cross del. So put this value, or the h cross omega would be the h cross del plus h cross square omega square divided by 2mc square. So now dividing throughout by the h cross, the omega would be the what? The del plus del square h cross divided by 2mc square. Okay. So finally we would get the value of the omega, that the del 1 plus h cross del divided by 2mc square. So option 2 would be the correct. Del into 1 plus h cross del by 2mc square. Next, go ahead. In a scattering experiment, the beam of electron with an energy of 420 megaelectron volts scattered of an atomic nucleus. If the first minimum of the differential cross section is observed at a scattering angle 45 degree, the radius of the nucleus is closest to what? Question number 73. This is basically coming from the properties of nucleus, nuclear physics. So wavelength lambda, that the p by h cross c divided by pc means the hc by, put this value, simplify lambda, put this value, you would get the lambda 2.95 Fermi, 10 to the power minus 15 meter. And the condition for the first minimum diffraction pattern, that the sin theta equal to 1.22 lambda divided by d. Solve for the d, r equal to d by 2. Okay, so 1.22 lambda divided by 2 sin theta. Put this value all, 1.22 into 2.95 into 10 to the power minus 15, because the 2.95 Fermi, and 2 into 1 by, convert Fermi to meter. So this would be the 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Okay, 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 15 meter. So the radius of this is meter, that the, so 2.5 Fermi. So option C would be the correct. Next question. Question number 74. Pi minus has spin 0 and negative intensity parity. In a reaction of deuterium in its ground state captures pi minus in P wave to produce a pair of neutron. The neutron will be produced in a state with L and S value should be what? This is coming from particle physics, nuclear and the particle physics. The reaction that the pi minus 2, pi minus plus d, sorry, pi minus plus d n plus n. This is the reaction. Given that the process involves p wave means the angular orbital L minus 1. The parity of the initial state, the parity that the pi plus d, that minus 1 and the plus 1, this is the parity. And for the final state, this is the initial state, and for the final state n plus n2, that the minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so the p wave means the L minus 1, that the minus 1 whole to the power L, that is equal to minus 1 plus 1 into minus 1 to the power 1. So the initial state would be the spin pi positive plus d to spin, that the 0 minus 0 plus 1, and for the final state n plus n, that is equal to the spin minus half plus half. Okay, so the key condition is that the del s minus 0, L minus 0 is equal to 0. Hence the conservation of the angular momentum is satisfied, the L minus 0. So 4 would be the correct, L0 state and the S0 state, L0 and the S0. And finally the last question, question number 75 of the CSIR NET June 2024 conducted by NTA. Last question, the del plus plus can be produced by the colliding of a pion beam onto a hydrogen target. In a reaction pi positive plus p2 del double positive 2 pi positive plus p in the rest frame of the del double positive, the energy and the momentum of the pion in the final state in mega electron volt is closest to what? So this is coming from the nuclear and the particle physics problem. So in particle physics problem, the total energy of the pion, that the pi positive, so E pi positive, that what? m del square plus m pi positive square minus m proton square divided by twice m del positive. Put this value one after another. That is equal to 1.2 into 10 to the power 3 plus 140 mega electron volt, so 140 square minus 1 into 10 to the power 3 square divided by twice into 1.2 into 10 to the power 3. Okay, so substitute this value, you would get this value, that the 191.5 mega electron volt. Next, the energy momentum relation, that the E pi positive square, that is equal to what? P square C square plus m square C to the power 4, that the m pi positive C to the power 4 that the C to the power 4. So rearrange, so you would get the P square C square, or the P square C square value would be what? E pi positive square, sorry, minus m pi positive square C to the power 4. Put this all value. So you would get the P square C square value 17072.25. So square root this, you would get the PC value, that the 130.69 mega electron volt. So PC means the the momentum of the pion. So the momentum of the pion pi positive P, that would be the 130.69 mega electron volt. So here option 4 would be the correct. Final state 190. Okay, 190 means the 191.5, this one and that one. 4 option would be the correct answer, 4. So we now conclude our discussion, that the total CSIR NET Physical Science full paper so last but not the least, the thank you very much, and stay well and happy. Have a good day.